color is culture, but they're cultural differences. I know, you know, we all know what it is. It's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
God, we supposed to build, not destroy. We true and living. Don't add on to the genocide, G.O.D. Get back on your square. That's what I did. I found the niche.
Peace, family. How you all doing? My name is Keisha. I am the owner of A Way of Life, and I am your astrology coach. I will be continuing Mars through the signs with Mars in Leo. And so I was originally doing these series specifically to challenge people to not just think about the personality traits that come with each of these, but also knowing that when you have them transiting, that everybody has Leo somewhere in their chart, and this area of life would still be activated even if you don't have a Mars in Leo. Also just being mindful that when you're having this energy transiting, that this is the area that you're meant to be working on. Also, I am a career coach, so I'm always going to come from doing this from a careers perspective, because astrology rules a bunch of different things, and I can tell you a bunch of different things about you and what you might be interested in doing. And so I try to incorporate all of those things when I'm doing this. That doesn't always happen, but you know what? It's a part of the story. So Mars and Leo, what is Mars? Mars is your passion, aggression, motivation, what actions you'll take, the drive that you have, your sexual actions, or what you're attracted to. Mars is a soldier. This is the warrior. This is your willpower and your strength. And Leo is the ruler of the fifth house. Leo traits and fifth house things are always going to be closely related, one and the same even. Leo rules dating, fun, play, romance, sex, casual sex, children, sports, fame, creative projects, performing arts, cinema, fifth house stuff, theater, acting, performance arts, stage plays, games, politics, stadiums, concerts, investments, gambling, and speculative investments, which is just gambling, or those meme stocks, specifically meme stocks. Be careful with the meme stocks, y'all, for anybody who's an investor out there. And Leo is ruled by the sun. And the sun rules your soul. It's also the career area of your life. And any kind of authoritative figures, especially high-ranking authority figures with the sun, like Mars is authority figures, but Mars, again, is the soldier. So these are people who will go out and do as they're told and regulate what is being told, right? And sun is the regulator. So this is the president, the corporate manager, the sheriff, the deputy, the person in charge of something, the CEO, your father, if I didn't say that already. And so when you have Mars and Leo, you could have problems with people of authority because you innately feel like you are supposed to be in charge of something, even if you're not. And so you have this kind of frustration, anger towards authority figures, or vice versa. These people have frustration and anger towards you. you put the two together, Mars and Leo people are very egoish, prideful. They think they are royalty. They expect to be treated like royalty. They love talking about themselves. They have a big ego. I don't know why I'm hearing Beyonce's song right now, echoing in the back of my brain. I got a big ego. Okay, so these people definitely are performers. They know how to put on a show, even if they're not trying to. It is innately in their being to have these traits, right? And so I think Leos get a bad rep on that lower vibration when people are like, oh, he's too full of himself. I think there's a difference between somebody being full of themselves and somebody knowing their worth. And everybody should have these expectations, like I said, instead of looking at people from a perspective of like, oh, I don't like them because they are this. They should be a reflection of you and what you should aspire to be within yourself, right? That's what we are all reflecting in these zodiac signs and transits anyway. So if it's something that you don't like about somebody, then it's a lack within yourself. You should know that. But these people naturally get attention for the things that they do, and they love it. And I don't think they always want it either. That's a funny part about it, which is why I made the statement that I did, is because especially if you're an introvert and you just so happen to be a Leo, like everywhere you go, it doesn't matter. You have an entourage. People always want to be around you. People always want to follow you. You might always have, I don't know why I'm thinking of Paris Hilton. I think I just did a reading for my sister. She's a Leo rising. And it's like, these people always have entourages. They are like, they're famous even if they're not. So they have like a group of friends or people who are always around them, who will defend them, fight for them, whatever. I highly recommend people who have any kind of skills or talents to always be in alignment with whatever that is, regardless, because you're going to do good at it regardless, just because you naturally have that light within you that people are going to be attracted to. In relationships, you could get a bad rep here for dating more than one person. But you have to remember, Leos are a fixed sign. And so maybe perhaps in the dating phase, this is somebody who might date more than one person until they find the person that they want. But even then, I'd be very skeptical to say that a Leo person sleeps around or has more than one person unless they've been in a relationship for a really long time. And then they will. But even then, it's just for the moment. And it really depends on how their relationship going. Otherwise, these people are very loyal. These people are providers naturally. They will be the person in the relationship who's going to make sure that you're okay, because again, these people see themselves as royalty, and they want their partner to be the same way. So they will put their partner on a pedestal to get the same attention that they're going to be receiving, because they want that in return as well. I would not cross this person, although I can't. Okay, so a Mars and Leo person to me, now I've mentioned this in every single one of my readings with Mars energy, because I relate Mars energy to a gangster, to a thug, to that street life, to, and so, especially in Gemini. But in Leo, again, this is the kingpin. This is somebody who wants to be at the top of the the high rise, you know, if you think about Leo is the person who is the Lion King. If you think about the Lion King, they're always sitting on that stoop that's high up so that they can have a view of the entire outlay because they're the king of their whatever, right? And so this is somebody who likes to be up high rises, so they can see, they'll know which way their enemies are coming, and they'll know how many different ways they can get to them from every single direction, right? But remember, they have an entourage. So when I think about Leos as the gangster, or Mars and Leo as a gangster archetype, this is the person who, in the public, he's giving out the turkeys, right? He's the big homie, right? But his entourage, now they have people who will do the deed, who, or at least somebody who's going to come back and say, yo, so-and-so isn't loyal. We was out the other night. We was at the club. You're not going to see a Leo out in these higher, bigger places in higher positions. You're not. They're in the VIP. Again, they're up high. They're somewhere where people are going to come back to them to give them, to report to them, to give them information. And so if they had to reprimand somebody for a lack of being loyal, this is somebody who's gonna bring you to their lair and do their dirty deed, or they'll have somebody go out and do it for them. This is somebody who will put a hit on you. Oh my goodness. For not, for not being loyal. Okay, so they really like attention. I do think that they have anger issues. I just feel like it's tempered because they know they have people who can do it for them. So this is somebody who's going to delegate whether or not, if it's something big that they want to do themselves, yeah. I still feel like this is somebody who's going to go out and have it done for them. In fact, if you happen to be around somebody else and you're being disrespectful to a Mars and Leo person, the person's going to do it for them. That's just my perception of a Mars and Leo person. But they do have tempers. This is somebody with a temper. This is Mars we're talking about here. But they are really just some of the sweetest people ever, to be quite frank. And this isn't a typical attitude of a Leo person. They're really big teddy bears on the inside. Now they can be stubborn and prideful and dramatic. They do like a good argument now. This is politics as usual. They're gonna fight and speak up for the things that they believe, et cetera, et cetera. In bed or sexually in general, I always relate Mars and Leo people to watchers more so than sexual, unless they have that right partner to bring it out in them. But these guys are performers, these guys want to have sex in the mirror. They are going to make sure that you are sexually satisfied. They want you to be happy. It means a lot to them. But I also think that because these are people, high-ranking people in high-ranking places that have money, I always resort to like watchers, because I see them as people who spend a lot of time alone in high places and dark places watching people. Somebody who might have some binoculars or they sit in their car and watch people. They're voyeurs. Go look up that definition of a voyeur and tell me I'm fucking lying. Even if you're not somebody who's in a higher position, these people live their lives in such a way, like if they're already in the military or been in the military or been in the army, they think like that, right? Not all, but some. And in Mars being the co-ruler of Scorpio, I don't care what anybody says. These people are, well, they're stalkers. They're low-key fucking stalkers. But not in that way. They just like they can watch you sexually as well as be sexual. They got some very interesting sexual desires. I'm just saying, I met a few and they are not shy about saying that shit neither. And everybody's going to be different. You can have different aspects, and depending on what other aspects you have to your Mars and Leo, this is going to make you act extremely different. But from any of the experiences that I had, even if they don't ever say it or they don't talk about it, these are my lifers. Think about it. If somebody who's been in prison their whole entire life, they're going to have a certain kind of mentality and expectations. This is somebody who can definitely sleep with both sexes. Okay. Let's keep it all the way fucking 100, except Mars and Leo person who dabbles with the opposite sex. This is about showing you who's boss. Right? This is not about the fact that they're gay. It becomes a different definition. Okay. They want to show you who's boss. Think about those animals in the wild and how they have to protect their space. And especially if somebody's been to prison, it's like, no, bitch, you're in my lair. This is my territory. I run this shit. They will fuck you in the ass to prove their point. I'm just saying. All right, let me get off here for y'all start thinking I'm crazy. This is my Mars and Leo. This is my Mars and Leo. Yeah, that's what I said. I hope that y'all found this information helpful. As usual, family, I love and appreciate y'all. Peace.